Can you just tell us how this all started? What's going on?
Honestly, how it all started for me was I received a couple of phone calls and was woken up by them, and I finally answered, a little bit later, and was told that there was a whole SWAT team right outside my door, and that, somebody might have broken into my house. At that point, I had told them, I looked all around, looked at all the windows, the locks. I was like, I don't think anybody could have broken into my house. Like, should I stay inside? Do I need to, are we getting evacuated? Like, what's going on here?
So you were here, is that correct?
Yeah.
And is this your sister's house?
I live with my mom.
You live with your mom. Okay. So tell me what was going through your mind at that time.
At that time, all I could think of is, do I need to lock the cats up while they search to make sure the place is clear or anything like that, so they don't get out? Just what's going on in general. I mean, I had no idea how to react or what to think.
Right. Where do you and your mom live?
We live here in the Old Mill townhome.
You live in this area, okay. Now tell me, why did they think, what did they tell you when you first talked to law enforcement?
They didn't really tell me too much, just that, there was some kind of investigation going on and that somebody might have broken in and that they just needed me to come outside.
Once you came outside, what happened?
Once I came outside, I was told to step up onto the ledge outside and turn around and walk backwards, lift my shirt up, make sure I had nothing in my waistband or anything, and just walk backwards to the sound of their voice, and that's when I was placed in cuffs.
Did they tell you that it was in relation to the car thefts in Bedford?
I didn't know that it was in relation to anything about that until I'd say maybe an hour after I had gotten put into the squad, or an hour after they had come here and once I had gotten put into the squad car.
Why do they think you have something to do with this?
I honestly have no idea. They said that they had dogs come up and sniff the door, and they had marked something outside of my house, and when I asked them about all that, they said that even if the dogs didn't mark outside of my door, they still would have had probable cause to detain me.
Did they say what that probable cause was?
They did not.
So were you taken to the sheriff's office?
I was taken to the Lynchburg Police Department.
And I'm guessing they booked you and did the fingerprints and all that?
They did.
Were you released that night?
I was released within the same hour of me going into the, the jailhouse and receiving.
Did you have to pay any kind of bail or bond or anything?
They told me that I'm on an unsecured $1,500 bond.
Awesome. So what is that? Do you know what that means?
I honestly have no idea. I try to keep my head out of trouble.
What is going through your head now, knowing that you've been accused of something like this?
I'm just hoping that they get all the facts straight. I mean, they have my phone to prove my locations. They have my DNA to prove that I was nowhere near it. And I'm just hoping everything can get cleared up and straightened out, so that way I have to stop being so scared to go out in public or to even see my kids.
And this happened Saturday morning, correct?
Yes.
What were you doing? Your grandma had told us, but I want to hear from you as well. What were you doing Saturday morning when all of this was supposedly taking place?
When all of this was supposedly taking place Saturday morning, do you know exactly what time the whole thing started and all that? Because I've heard so many different times, I'm unsure.
Around 3:30 that morning?
Around 3:30 that morning. Around 3:30 that morning, I was upstairs in my room. I want to say I had just gotten off playing the game with my older brother. We were playing Black Ops 6, the zombies. I had just gotten off the game, and then I went to go check out the Microsoft store because they had some sales, and I had just gotten paid. And I went to go check, tried to buy one game, didn't have enough for that one game, so I went to go try to buy another one and bought that one. And I mean, I even have text receipts from that that gets sent to the phone, and that marks those both at 312, 314.
Did you tell the police that you, or the sheriff's office, that you had been talking and playing with your brother during the time that this was happening?
They asked me exactly where I was, like, through the entire night. I told them I had gotten off of work, like, right around 11 o'clock, if not a few minutes after 11. I went over to my friend's house because the prior night was the night of the Mike Tyson fight. I went over to my friend's house and watched that with him. Left his house around 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. Came straight home. Grabbed a couple beers out the fridge, hopped on the game with my brother because I saw he was on the game, and just started drinking, stayed up late playing the video game.
That was just a fun question, just because why not? Did you expect, was it Jake Paul? Is that who it was? Did you expect him to win, or did you think Tyson was going to win?
Not at all, but I was real concerned when I first started watching it because just the look that Tyson had on his face, and when he tripped coming out the gate, I was a little worried that it was going to go the wrong way.
Yeah, it wasn't going to go 8 rounds at that point. Awesome. Well, yeah, I didn't watch it, but I was eager to see what happened. All right, I think the last question I have for you, and just so we can just really put it out there, let's try to rephrase this, let's see. Did you have anything to do with those car thefts?
Not at all. No, I mean, shoot, I seen the post on Facebook, and I mean, I wouldn't really want to put it out there like that, but one of the people on there said that, he telling on everybody. If I knew him, I would at this point, just to get me out of there, but I mean, I have my own vehicle to drive. I'd have no reason to touch anybody else's. I mean, I go to work for my money. I take care of my kids. I mean, homeschool them, feed them, bathe them. I'd have no reason to ever affect anybody else's lives.
Your grandmother said you've been receiving some threats?
I did receive something. I can't say I could directly perceive it as a threat, but it kind of seems like it could be. Just somebody sending something about how they could identify me, and then said just looking out for you with the thumbs up. So I don't know if that's saying they're looking out for my well-being or saying that they're on the look for me.
Strange. Is there anything else that you want to add?
Not really that I can think of.
Yeah, thank you. Have you had any trouble with your job since this all happened?
I messaged my boss this morning because I just finally got a phone working again yesterday since the police had my phone now. Immediately turned on everything location-wise, even downloaded the Life 360 app, got my mom and both my brothers on there.
Yeah. Smart.
But I messaged my job this morning, was like, hey, look, I'm really scared to go out in public right now, especially because I work with people in the deli and stuff, and I just, my face being out there on the news is like, it's something I had nothing to do with. I'm scared that people are going to come after me, do something to me off of something I didn't do to anybody else.
Has your work been understanding?
The day I guess, I don't know what you would call it, but the day that, they came with the search warrant and everything, they were pretty well understanding that day. They immediately got somebody to cover my shift. I told them, I'd like to be out for the next couple of days just because of how high my stress and anxiety is right now. And they were pretty understanding for the first day. I told them the next day, if absolutely need be, I can come in, and work that shift. Try to get my mind cleared and everything, since it wasn't as late of a shift that night. And that was before it being, my face and all that being out there. And after that got released and all that, I finally was able to get a hold of her this morning since I just got the phone working. And I tried seeing if there would be some way to, work out some kind of like hold on my employment, or, take me off schedule temporarily until this all blows over. And it just seemed to turn around to, I guess, I don't want to say being more concerned about having a body in the store, but, they didn't seem too concerned about my anxiety or anything about the situation, just having me there at work.